Russia forced Swiss Christmas Lights of Hope for Ukraine to cancel. Swiss light artist Jerry Hofstetter was planning to light up various buildings and monuments for the residents of Kyiv during Christmas season in Ukraine. The images projected were planned to be broadcasted live to reach both soldiers in the trenches, as well as civilians in their homes and shelters. It was more than relating a sense of hope, it was meant to bring joy and lighten up the faces of many incredulous Ukrainians. Jerry Hofstetter does not believe in long speeches but in action. His idea of this unique solidarity action was aimed to bring hope and light to Ukrainian men and women in these dark and cold days of the war in Ukraine. So he went to Ukraine on a journey from Zurich to Kyiv that took more than 46 hours, including 6 hours to get across the border. With a small team of 4 people, Hofstetter brought his own electric generators all the way from Switzerland to set up this very special Christmas light art tour in Kyiv. On December 23 the show began. Projections began with Ukrainian state symbols and colorful Christmas images, sunflowers, and many other bright and cheerful images. Hofstetter illuminated a number of historical buildings in Kyiv, including St. Andrew's Church, the National Museum of the History of Ukraine, the bell towers of the St. Michael's Golden Domed Monastery and St. Sophia Cathedral, and the building of the Diplomatic Academy of Ukraine, with Christmas-themed abstractions, Ukrainian national images, and state symbols. Hofstetter remembered also the deceased by projecting their portraits onto the National Historical Museum and showing doves of peace. The buildings were selected in cooperation with the Ministry of Culture and Information, the State Agency of Ukraine for Arts and Art Education, and the capital city of Kyiv. The illumination was planned to place from December 23 to 25 between 1600 H to 2200 H. On Saturday 24 December air strikes alarms went off minutes before the start. Hofstetter and his team rushed to the Swiss embassy for shelter. Only a few minutes later they heard shelling. It was frightening, says Hofstetter. The endurance of the Ukrainian people is incredible, no power, no water, no heating, and temperature below freezing. The art tour by Swiss lighting artist Jerry Hofstetter, which started in Kyiv on Friday, December 23, had to be suspended due to the Russian attack on Kherson, Minister of Culture and Information Policy of Ukraine Alexander Tkachenko says. Today we are cancelling the light route of Jerry Hofstetter. In memory of the tragic events and all the dead, let the light burn in everyone's heart today, Tkachenko wrote on Telegram on Saturday. The Russian invaders fired at the center of Kherson with multiple launch rocket systems on Saturday morning. According to various sources, at least 7 civilians in the city were killed, and there are reports of 58 wounded, including 18 in serious condition. Before the show was cancelled Saturday, President Zelensky said Ukrainians will create their own miracle this Christmas by showing they remain unbowed despite Russian attacks that have plunged millions into darkness. The president made his remarks in a video address to Ukrainians who celebrate Christmas in December. Most Ukrainians are Orthodox Christians and celebrate Christmas on January 6. In Rome, Pope Francis's 10th Christmas Day address since he assumed the papacy, mentioned the war for 10 minutes. He mentioned a grave famine of peace also in other regions and other theaters of this Third World War, while speaking from a balcony at the Basilica overlooking St. Peter's Square. Whereas in London King Charles III in his first Christmas address as king said, Christmas is a particularly poignant time for all of us who have lost loved ones. We feel their absence at every familiar turn of the season and remember them in each cherished tradition. His Majesty went on saying, Christmas is, of course, a Christian celebration. The power of light overcoming darkness is celebrated across the boundaries of faith and belief. Whatever faith you have, or whether you have none, it is in this life-giving light, and with the true humility that lies in our service to others, that I believe we can find hope for the future. Underlining his belief in the extraordinary ability of every person to touch others with goodness and compassion, will change the lives of others, and shine a light in the world around them. It is very symbolic that at a time when Russia is trying to deprive us of light, we, together with our European friends, can return this light in the Ukrainian capital. At least in such an artistic way, comments Alexander Tkachenko, Minister of Culture and Information Policy of Ukraine. The artist proves with his works that it is worth living and protecting, and supporting the place where we live, the planet Earth, and its environment. Jerry Hofstetter said, with this lighting, I wanted to bring hope and a little Christmas to Ukrainians. I wanted to send the message to the entire world that during Christmas we should think of all the people who cannot celebrate in warm rooms. Since my team and I deliberately refused to spend Christmas with our families and friends, we wanted to show solidarity and hope that our contribution gives hope for Ukrainians and becomes a lighthouse for all other people on this planet. Together with the organizers, Jerry Hofstetter was planning a live streaming of the event so that the Christmas projections can be seen by the military in the trenches and bunkers, people in their homes and shelters, as well as throughout the world. Jerry Hofstetter is a world-renowned artist from Switzerland. With his artworks, he wants to prove that it is worth living to support and protect the planet Earth and its environment. Jerry Hofstetter, born in 1962, lives and works in Zumikon, Switzerland. In 1995 the Swiss artist began an international company, Hofstetter Marketing, which specializes in light art, communications, events, design, and film productions. Since 1999, Hofstetter has been transforming buildings, monuments, and natural landscapes throughout the world into temporary works of art with his spectacular light art projections. Jerry Hofstetter's art does not just appeal to people's predilection for the dramatic, his light images frequently also harbor profound messages. In 2003 and 2005, he displayed light art installations in the Antarctic for a project supporting the United Nations International Year of Water 2003. For the installation, he illuminated icebergs from an icebreaker, creating temporary memorials to illustrate the growing severity of global warming. He revisited the Arctic 6 more times, where his temporary art sculptures were directed at raising public awareness of the receding ice masses that endangered the habitat of polar bears. Jerry Hofstetter travels all over the world to implement light art projects of all sizes. His creativity is a guarantee that clients will have their message in both the media and the public consciousness. With his illuminations, Hofstetter encourages the beholder to contemplate how our planet can develop in an environmentally friendly, sustainable manner. His works include, for example, the lighting of the Matterhorn mountain in Switzerland as an action of solidarity with Zermatt for the world in the 2020 global quarantine due to COVID-19. He lived at the foot of the Matterhorn for 5 weeks and every night raised the flag of the country that was particularly affected by this pandemic. The Scream campaign by the World Tourism Network applauded this Swiss initiative by Jerry Hofstetter and regretted the cancellation of this important symbolic action.